found this movie to be really fun. It's genuinely funny, which is
Thank you.
genuinely funny, genuinely heartfelt, and the characters seem very grounded in the real world. Super impressive. I heard that you wrote this at a very young age, and now that you're of a very old age, I'd love to know what your process was, how you came to this, and what your writing process was like for this.
My writing process for this was sort of similar to a pregnancy in that I had the idea for a long time. I sat with it for a long time. I didn't have the motivation maybe to sit down and write it, but I lived with it for a long time. And then one day, Ava Bodner, who plays Iris in the film, she was like, we should work together, we should do something. And I was like, well, I have this one idea, but it's like very ambitious. There's no way we could pull it off. But it's this girl who's pregnant, and she was like, you have to just write it. And I did, and it took me like 3 days, and it just all kind of came out at once.
That's great. And what, in terms of writing dialogue, because the dialogue is really great, I have to say. And for somebody who wrote this so young, it's super impressive. What was your process like for writing dialogue? Were you just doing this in your head? Were you workshopping this? Were you playing around with other people? Like, how did it go?
Well, the start of it is me sitting alone in my room in the middle of the night, sounding schizophrenic as I write it, and I read it aloud to myself to make sure that it sounds like something someone would actually say and flows correctly. And then once it got to a place that I liked, I studied at the Lee Strasberg Institute, so I would bring it in there, and I was in a directing class there, and so I would workshop it and have people do improvs based on it and take notes, and then film them in the film acting class and use that. And then after like a semester of workshopping it there, it kind of came to be what it is in the film.
Okay, cool. And so the leap from getting it on the page to getting it out to actors, producers, how did that go? Well,
it really started as a delusion that me and Ava were having, that we were going to make a feature film. And after months of telling people that we were going to do this with no idea how we were going to do this, it got passed to a producer who was like, no, I am not going to produce a film written by and directed by an 18-year-old. That seems like a terrible career move, but I do know someone who might be crazy enough to do that, and I will pass it along to her.
Yes, that crazy person is me. I had received it from my producing partner that I had just done a film with in Lebanon, who has worked with Kevin a long time, and he just, he wasn't quite up for the task. But I work with first-time directors a lot, and really I was like, no, I'm not going to do this, but I'll read the script. I read the script, I was like, damn, I got to do it. It was so good. It was just like one of the better scripts I've read, and I felt like I had not been involved in a voice of this younger generation, and I really was inspired to get involved because I feel like they just do it differently. And she was just really special, as you can see. She was like 18 at the time, and you just don't come across that very often.
So you have a killer supporting cast here, obviously. But before we get to talk about them, I'm curious how you came across, is it Aitana and Braxton to play kind of the leads?
Actually, the entire young cast of the film is people I studied with at the Lee Strasberg Institute. I don't think there's a single person out of those like younger people that wasn't just a classmate of mine that I had either done a scene with or seen do a scene, and kind of when I was in the casting process was thinking like, who would fit this, and then would like reach out on Instagram. They all came out of Strasberg.
There we go. So, and then, obviously you've known one of these cast members for quite a while. And was it difficult to convince your dad to do this, or?
Well, It's funny you should ask.
Well, should I ask him? Maybe I should ask you instead, Kevin. Was it a difficult leap for you to work with your daughter?
Well, we shot my scene in the house. So,
In your house?
It wasn't hard. Well, actually, we shot it next door. Our neighbors were nice enough to lend us their living room to shoot the scenes that I was in. And
Was that in your contract? Did you insist that you don't leave?
yes, of course, of course. No, you're asking if it was it easy? Was it hard for us to work together as a father-daughter?
For me to convince you to do it.
Convince me to do it. I didn't need convincing. I had no choice. No,
I know where he lives.
Had you said no. Right. And what about David and Kate? How did you two come to this project?
Oh, he asked me to do it. He said, "Yo, Dave, my daughter's directing a movie.
scratch my back. I
if
scratch
you would,
yours. You know, we're friends for a long time. You're not gonna do this
It's a
for me?
good part. It's a good part." And so I it's not bad, right? And then so I said, oh, Sadie, amazing. She was at my wedding as a little girl, and we've been friends for quite some time. And her mother, Beth, who's here right there, she also produced the movie, and was excited to have me, and I felt very welcome. It was like family, and no brainer.
All right. Kate?
I don't know. We have a mutual friend.
Yes.
Right. And from that mutual friend, I have another mutual friend who, I don't know, you get in this indie circuit in New York City, and I live there. That's pretty much, I just go from like no money indie to no money indie. It's amazing, but it's super fun, and it's a really good adventure, and I have a wonderful time. And, at some point in life, I think like that's the goal, right? That's the ticket, is to have a wonderful time. And it was really fun. Like David, I think your characterization of the set it was really a nice set to work on. Like, it was such a family.
Yeah.
We just lied around, and we were like mush pods of hugging, and it was very sweet. It was
And Nadia Dejani, who's not here, who plays her mom, the mom. She's amazing in the film, and she's a riot to be around. I've known her for many years. So, yeah, it was like old home week.
And it also important to say about Kathy is that we actually went out to her for a smaller role because we didn't think that she would be down to do such a big role. Like, it seemed like such a dream big ask. And then she read the script and called me and was like, "Can I play Carrie?" And I was like, "You can play Sydney if you want." Yeah.
I just want to dovetail on that. The reason I really liked Carrie, and the reason I really love your writing, is because you create these people that there's a complexity there of choice, and there's the complexity of choice. There's learning in the moment, and I find that really difficult to do as an actor, and I always look for that in a script, and I feel like your scripts really create these chances for actors to do things that you have to be in the moment to know how to even approach it, and that is such a rigor,
Yeah, in fact, I wanted to ask you about your monologue in the car, because it's such a short moment, but it's so emotional and so grounded and again in reality. How do you, as an actor, prepare for such a quick? It's not a long monologue. There's not you don't have a long road to build up to it. So I'm curious how you just kind of grab into that.
Well, if you were to talk to my husband, he'd be like, "Oh, she cries every day," It's just, I don't know. It's just my personality, Like,
I played this episode of this show, and Mindhunter, and they were like, "Oh, well, you're going to be crying all day," and I was like, "Great, I could do that. That's no problem." You know, so I don't know. To be happy all day might be a more difficult thing for me, but yeah.
David, you were cast as the sort of like abused father. Is that autobiographical? Is that?
It might be biographical of Kevin. Kevin is the father, sort of. It's based on. I don't know. Did she beat the hell out of you or what?
No.
No. Okay. Good. Well, you answered then.
No, you answered it.
I don't know.
You played the part.
No, it was no, but you know, there is one moment where I talk about the difference between girls and boys. I didn't say the boy part, but I have an older girl, and really I'm talking about her. And then the gentleman who plays Braxton's dad in the film is actually Nadia Dajani's husband, who's I think a former firefighter or something. He's not really an actor, he's just kind of trying to get in there. And he said the thing about boys, and I also have a boy, and that's 1,000% right. For some reason, boys don't become human until they're like 10. Speaking of boys, this is the first time I saw the movie, yeah? And I loved it. But it has a collection of the creepiest men I've ever seen in one film, including myself, don't get me wrong. But boy, oh boy, you know how to cast some creepy, woo.
You have no idea.
Yucky men.
Listen, I get this complaint a lot. People are like, "Why do you hate men so much?" I'm like, I don't. Guys, like when some of like shocker, a lot of it's based on real things that have happened to me, somewhat verbatim, and when it was happening to me, I was like, this is so romantic. What a dreamboat this man is. And it's not till like the last minute that I was like, oh no, not again.
Yeah, your singer who enters the picture late. You I love the switch that you do with him. It rings so true. This like guy who's dreamy and she's falling in love, and then he turns out to be a jerk, just like any. It's very like 20-something dude.
And thank you for saying it was a switch up, because sometimes people watch it and they go, well, yeah, he was obviously an asshole the whole time. And I'm like, well, I'm glad you noticed that. When it happened to me, it wasn't so obvious.
All I know is that Braxton, it's going to stick with me for a while because I've never seen anything like that on film, but Braxton's hair is tragic. I mean, I don't know if he's going to hear me say that, but...
Well, I want
hair.
We flat ironed it. It's not his real hair.
You gotta do something about that if you're
in
an
terms
actor,
of that
just take that
design.
into consideration.
In terms of the design of the characters, I did notice, and I'm wondering if this is intentional or me reading into it, but Sydney seems to look more mature along the way, whereas Lucas seems to turn more and more into a child along the way. And I don't mean that. I mean physically. I mean the look of what he was doing and how you were shooting him. Was that intentional, or am I just reading into things? It's intentional, so we'll all be impressed.
It like yes and no. Like Braxton's look, or Lucas's look, I should say. He in real life he's very good looking. He's not like that. We did him dirty. We flat ironed his hair. We made him grow out his beard. We really put him through the ringer with that. And it's partially like some intentional choices, like when he gets hit by a car wearing a bright orange stop sign level hoodie. Like we thought that would be kind of funny. And then part of it is that like a lot of the wardrobe was shared amongst people, and we were like at a certain point, you're working on something indie, you're like, we're running out of clothes. Like just put him in Sydney's clothes. Put her in his. I think actually, I don't know if you noticed this, David, but at one point, Aitana's wearing your shirt.
Yeah, I think we noticed it on set because it was she was pregnant, but it was still humongous on her because I was large and in charge at the time. Not that I'm much smaller, but yeah. Anyway, don't worry about me. Just keep going.
some of the small moments I want to ask about, like David, you're eating the cucumbers,
Yeah.
or Kate fanning herself with a plate. Like, were these directions, or did you guys sort of improv this stuff on the fly? Any recollection?
It was a very safe set to work on. So when you have a set like that, you're like, and props was very. They gave you toys. They were toys. Like I always really appreciate like props can be an amazing inspirational thing. Like the plate is there and I use it. You know what I mean? I didn't plan it. It just I feel like that's a mistake that sometimes indie filmmakers make is they don't understand how really dynamic props can be, and that props is a really, really hard, interesting job, and it's very important. Like I did this shoot in LA, and LA and props, right? But I mean, I've never had so many props. And I was like a kid in a candy store. So I think for the indie scene, like props is really an important department. Mm-hmm. That's what I would say.
I ate too many cucumbers that day, and you can eat too many cucumbers, it turns out. And my stomach was like all, because cucumbers are like, I'm okay, don't worry about me.
He didn't want to eat the cucumbers because they were on Nadia's eyes and she had eye makeup on it. He was like, I can't eat it. And what if I eat the mascara? I'm going to die. And I didn't.
I'm a prima donna, So.
I didn't actually. I was like, okay, you don't have to eat them. And then later in post, when I was going through the footage, I was like, oh, he did it. Oh, that was nice of him.
Yeah, it's a great touch. It's fun. The car ride with the band, I want to ask you about that shot. How did you guys do that? With the focus onto her. It was really a great shot. It's very cool.
I mean, all of the credit for that goes to my incredible editor, Frank, who's right here. He was the mastermind. That's my favorite shot. That's everybody's favorite shot. And when we were editing...
was that done in post?
Yes. All Frank. And he was like, I have an idea, but I don't want to tell you because you might say no, so I'm just going to do it and I'll show you. And I was like, what's he going to do? And he came back and it was brilliant. And I mean, it's like the best, my favorite part of the film. It's like my favorite shot of the film. And it was all Frank. And I actually don't even think that the VFX people touched it up. I think it's fully Frank's handiwork. So shout out Frank Reynolds.
Great. Nice. And while we're here talking about post, were there any major adjustments, any major changes that happened in post that from script to production to post?
Honestly, no. Like if you read the script, you'll be like, yeah, this is the movie. I was so fortunate to work with people who allowed me to have that and who trusted my vision. But I will say that the number one thing maybe that's different from the script to the movie is David's incredible, hilarious ad-libs.
You let me do whatever I wanted to do, and it seemed tonally that there was no sort of edge to fall off of. When the fist him in the ass joke is fine on a set, you go, oh well, I can pretty much say anything. And from that point, I did. But that's because you allowed it and you encouraged it. And, it's fun character, the father. What a nightmare for any father, Yeah. And so getting to play that was fun. And, yeah.
And in terms of those kinds of improvisations, what the party scene, the gender reveal party, it reminded me of when I found out that I was having a daughter, and I said, "Oh fuck," because my mind went to like 13 years old. But now I agree with you. Girls are way better than boys. I look at my friends with boys. I'm like, oh my god, thank God. But in terms of the party dialogue, like all these little snippets of scenes, was that all improvised little scenes? Everybody.
Yeah, that was all improvised. I mean, I think by that point, like maybe in the script it said they're talking. And then I let them fill in like.
Yeah, but we knew, like that was after we done a lot of
Yeah, it
shooting,
was-
so we knew pretty much. Like it wasn't first day. Like I don't know what to say. I don't even know who I'm playing. Like we had been together a bit, you know. So improvising on set is that kind of thing. It's easier, you know, because you begin to have a sense of like what you're supposed to, you know, what you're up to.
Can you talk about the music? It was great music. It's fun music. Where'd you get all of it?
From Josh Landau, right up there, the one and only. How lucky are we to have such a supportive team that they're all here, even though we've all seen the movie a billion times, except for David.
Well, I wanted to wait till it was in a theater. I wasn't in town for the premiere. I love it. It's so sweet. It's wonderful. It's inspiring. I was going to bring my 11-year-old daughter, and I'm so glad I didn't. But at some point, she will really be inspired by this film, and it's a testament to you, Sadie, because the truth is this is a very, very personal, revealing story that you didn't have to tell. And I hope that it was both a catharsis of sorts, but also to see so many people respond so beautifully to it in the way you want them to. I think you have a long career ahead in telling stories that move people.
Thank you. And
That's nice, man.
and as for the music,
Where's the
Josh
dough?
came in and you know he sent me like immediately all this really great stuff. And I'd listen to it and be like, "Oh, this is great. Can you like make this girlier?" And he somehow knew what I meant by that and would tailor it and make it fit. And he was just like a dream to work with and really understood what we were doing and the vibe of it, and it came together. And then, you know, the songs we did have a lot, like my dad's band, the song that plays when she's giving birth is from my dad's band that I actually used as the ending credits song of the first short film I made when I was 8. And
So, David and Kevin, this film naturally reminded me tonally of Slums of Beverly Hills. It was a long time ago, I know, but I was kind of hoping for a tidy whitey song and dance routine.
From me?
Yeah, of course.
What? That was David's thing.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I
Maybe.
no longer wear the tidy whities as of last week. Yeah, I mean, dramedies, you know, inspiring comedies that move you. They're rare.
They're so rare now, and it's amazing.
They're more and more rare, and it's what when I write, it's what I write. It's all I feel like writing, you know, sort of bittersweet. You know, it's the bittersweet genre. It's kind of gone.
It's fading, and I'm curious.
it's a
How
bummer,
was your
'cause those are the
festival
best.
run? How was your distribution run? Are you guys? Is this film coming out? Is it out now? Is that what this is for? What are we doing?
Yeah, we had a good festival run. It really picked up speed. We premiered at Bentonville, Gina Davis's festival, which only accepts, you know, a handful of films. So we started there, went on for about a year, and Tribeca Films just picked us up, and we're on the move. So this is part of that and part of our journey. But what's great is this film has legs. When people see it, they recommend it somewhere else. And that's been one of our biggest things. The Popcorn List picked us up through a recommendation of Woods Hole. And from that, we had a 10-city theatrical release. And, you know, so it's a film that obviously resonates with people, and it continues to perform through word of mouth. And now it'll have a platform, but...
So, is there anywhere people can tell folks to go look for it yet, or is it still?
Yeah, it's
coming?
on Tubi. It's on VOD right now, and then it'll find its streamer soon once we get through with that.
Cool, great. So everybody tell your friends to go watch it. They need views. Well, great. Thank you so much, everyone. This is really a lot of fun to
Thank
see
you,
all of
Mike.
you.
And I
Nice to
just
meet
have
you.
to say that some of our amazing cast and crew is here. Natalie Carter is here. Chris Cordero is here. And my editor, Frank, composer, Josh. We're blessed. And they're all amazing.
Great job, everyone. Thank you for sharing it with us. All right.